All right, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to do a measurement or measurements video. And what I hope to do here is just show you a different array of ways for taking measurements on an engine. You have to learn it, right? So one suggestion, one thing that I did is I went to the local community college. I was living in Baton Rouge at the time, and my wife was in graduate school, so she was always wrapped up with work, and so I checked out the local community college, and I took these were both night classes too. I took a welding class at night. They had sort of a general basic welding processes, I think is what it's called, and I took a welding class at night and did that for a semester, and then the machine shop was next door, and then I did, like, for the next 3 years I took machine shop classes at night. You know, I had a regular day job doing computer stuff, and you know, I did 3 years. The machine shop, I went over there and did 3 years there. Lathe work, mill work, got to learn to use tools and things. So I say that to say, check into your local community college and see what they have to offer. I bet dollars to donuts that they have probably a welding class that you can take at night, and then they've also got like a basic machining is often what it's called. But in those basic machining classes, you'll learn things like how to use a micrometer, how to use a dial caliper, and then you'll get to do some basic machining on lathes and mills and things. So I say all that to say too, taking those classes really allowed me to learn how to take proper measurements. You know, knowing what a thousandth of an inch is, like knowing it from a practical standpoint and being able to measure that is key. So I say all that to say, not that you can't learn it on your own, but obviously certainly helps if you either know someone who can teach you, or again, check out your local community college and see what they have to offer. Okay, so that being said, I think my dial caliper is over here. So these are sort of the tools of the trade. Number one, dial caliper is the first one. Most of you have probably seen this. As you slide it back and forth, you see this little dial move here, and the dial here has increments of 1/1000ths, and you know, dial gauges are sort of come in all shapes and sizes. There's also height gauges that use a dial, but these are generally the easiest to use, and they're just super handy to have. You want to, you use them for sort of all sorts of things. So this is sort of your basic tool. The next thing we've got here is a micrometer. This is a big micrometer. I actually just bought this one. I had some smaller mics, but this is a 5-inch. I think this goes up to 5 inches. I needed this to be able to measure the pistons in my 400 engine, which are 4 inches, 342 thousandths. So anyway, micrometer. Micrometer basically measures the outer diameter of something. So let me grab one of my pistons here. So to measure this distance on your piston, to be able to measure the outer diameter here, that's what this dial caliper allows you to do. Now you might say, well, why can't you use your regular dial caliper here? Well, if you notice, if I open this all the way up, you know, you can't quite get it. The jaws are not wide enough to go all the way around it. Now there are some long jaw, I think they're called long jaw calipers, or calipers that have sort of extended jaws. And I thought about buying a set of those, but decided to go with a micrometer like this. Is generally more accurate. You can get down to, I think, a 10 thousandths of an inch with this. I'm not trying to go that far, but as long as I can get to within a thousandth, I'm good. So anyway, that's a micrometer. Next thing, let's see, I've got here is the handy bore gauge. This comes, usually you buy these in a set, and this is, I bought these from Harbor Freight I don't know when, 20 years ago now, maybe. They come in different sizes depending on the size of the, depending on the diameter of the thing it is you're trying to measure the inside gauge of. But this is for, we'll see this when we measure the cylinders. You can see that over here a little bit. Anyway, this doohickey slides down in there, and then you pull it out, and then you can use your dial caliper to measure the diameter of that. So you can use that to measure how far it is. So that's sort of how that works. And then the last one here is the feeler gauge. This thing's been up like crazy. This is the same one I've had for the last 20 years now. I've sort of bent these up. Sometimes you need to turn it at a 90-degree angle so you can measure something. But these measure the thickness of this allows you to measure the thickness of something, or if you're trying to measure a distance. Often where I've used the most is setting valves. A lot of the old first engine work I did was on CB750s, old Honda CB750 motorcycles, and those use you adjust the tappets on those. You adjust the tappets on those with a feeler gauge. In fact, I did it so many times I know the exhaust side is 6/1000ths and the intake side is 4/1000ths of an inch. But that allows you. We'll use these to measure the clearance between the piston and the cylinder wall. Okay. The other thing is, none of this stuff is real expensive. I mean, even this large micrometer, this was 30 bucks. I mean, a good set of these, like a machinist type set, you could spend hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. Again, sort of from a budget standpoint and being smart about how you use these, generally the accuracy for the work we're trying to do here, and again, if you're building race engines full time, then you're going to have a different set of tools than somebody who's in their home garage, just, you know, building an engine a year, or, you know, even like for me, once every few years. I mean, I think about the last 20 years or so now, I've probably built 5 engines in that time. You know, mostly motorcycle engines. This is actually the first automotive engine that I've built. But, you know, you don't need, you know, it's a difference if you have a tool when you're using it on a day-to-day basis in sort of a, you know, a shop setting. You need a different quality of tool. Whereas, okay, if I take really good care of this is not a great quality tool, and if I drop it on the floor, there's a good chance it's going to wreck it. But if you take good care of it and sort of be gentle with it, then most of these tools, you know, again, Harbor Freight, stuff you can buy at Harbor Freight and Amazon is going to be fine. Okay, so that's all I'll say about that. Okay.